and proud home of the Grey Cup, which will be played here at McMahon in late November. Tonight, the second clash of the year between the Lions and Stampeders. First Friday night of fall, and it's a beauty. What a great night for football. Well, Wally Bono made his historic victory last week in Vancouver, number 232. Tonight, he goes after his first ever win against his old assistant, John Huffnagel. Huff Stamps have won 5 straight against the Lions, including last year's Western Final, and it was a blowout in Week 4, 48-10 Calgary.
Yeah, that was dominated by the Calgary Stampeders, and a win tonight, and they can take the season series. Very important game for the BC Lions, who can move into a tie for first with a win.
Lions started 1-4. They can get to 500 tonight. Calgary wants to get back into sole possession of first place. Here's Ryan Grace Mullen on the kick return, getting outside. And a good return for Grace Mullen up to the 40-yard line before Milton Collins takes him down. 35 for Grace Mullen on the kick return as Buck Pierce leads the BC Lions out. The starting lineups are brought to you by Nissan, fan and proud sponsor of the CFL.
Last week versus the Toronto Argonauts, Buck Pierce in his first start since August 14th. Took a shot, has some tender ribs. We'll see him in the starting lineup tonight. And there is your receiving corps: G. Simon, Paris Jackson, the key inside slot backs there, an offensive line with Jason Jimenez at right tackle.
Toss to Mallet. Martel Mallet crashing up to the 49-yard line. Good first down run production for the outstanding rookie.
All kinds of changes in this Calgary defense throughout the season. Charleston Hughes, in his second start returning to the Calgary lineup, had 2 sacks in game 1. There is the linebacking core. Malik Jackson getting to start in that core for Dwayne Carpenter, who's not on the roster tonight. And a newcomer in the secondary, D. Webb, up against G. Simon and Paris Jackson.
8 for Mallet, 2nd and 2, and he will convert. First down up near midfield. Wally Bono telling us before the game that what has irked him in the last couple of weeks, poor second down conversions on 2nd and short.
And that's where Martel Mallet will come in. 869 yards rushing coming into the game, 6.0 yard rush average, and has to be a leading candidate for Rookie of the Year at this point in the season.
Started the game 57 yards short of Fred Reed for the rushing lead. A little stumble there as he took the handoff and falls into Calgary territory. Short gain down to the Stampeder 53.
You mentioned the last game between these two teams, Chris, and back then Calgary Stampeders really dominated that game, played on a short field for most of the night, so good sustained drive for the BC Lions, important early on in this game.
Second and 8. Likely to see Buck Pierce's first pass of the night. Started 6 for 6 last week. And Mallet out of the backfield has the catch. Dropped at the 48. He'll be short of the first down. There's Malik Jackson. Shannon James converge on Martel Mallet after his 36th catch of the year.
BC Lions are trying to get Martel Mallet out of the backfield. A high percentage throw here, but it plays right into the hands of the Calgary defense at this point because they're playing a zone. They want the Lions to throw it underneath. They'll rally to make the tackle and hold them short.
Titus Ryan traded to Winnipeg. Marcus Howell has dropped back as the punt returner to start the night. Could see Demetrius Summers in that department. Kick off the side of the foot of Sean White. And that will be a penalty for not even getting to the 20-yard line when the Lions had a chance to pin Calgary deep. 15-yard exchange after the punt by Sean White. Joffrey Reynolds goes to work. First carry of the night up to the 36-yard line. 5 for Joffrey, 4th in league rushing.
Starting lineup for the Calgary Stampeders. Of course, Henry Burris at quarterback leads the league in touchdown passes with 17 coming in. One more. Become the all-time leader in Calgary Stampeder history. There is the receiving corps with the 2 newcomers, Romby Bryant and R.J. Franklin, in the lineup in that trade with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. And they'll bump Tim O'Neill over to guard and play Rob Lazio back at center.
Heard the guys on the panel talk about looking forward to seeing these receivers from Winnipeg. Burris takes off on his own, and he has a first down up at the 45-yard line.
The key factors in that first game between these two teams in the regular season was the running of Joffrey Reynolds and Henry Burris. Joffrey Reynolds had 130, so they're going to get him involved on the play action here, and Burris out and around the end. Burris, a true triple threat quarterback, and he can throw from the pocket, he can throw outside on the perimeter, on the edges, and he can run plays like that and use his legs.
Leading rusher among quarterbacks, an 8-yard scamper to first down up at the 45. And the pass in the flat complete. And there is Robbie Bryant. Made the first man miss. And gets a loud ovation from the crowd here. The man now ticketed to replace Kenyon Rambo.
Yeah, and Ryan Thelwell, who had replaced Kenyon Rambo, is out for the season. And be to the right of your screen, he'll play that wide side wide receiver, catches the curl, makes a man miss in Dante Marsh and down the sideline. He's going to be playing with a sense of urgency. John Huffnagel said he was real impressed with his first couple of meetings and practices. Robbie Bryant.
He even talked to the media here, something he didn't do in a couple seasons in Winnipeg, 18. And Burris pulls it down again, and lunging headfirst for another first down. Very close for the man who leads quarterbacks in rushing this year in the CFL.
Ricky Foley leads the league in sacks with 8. Newcomer in the defensive line, Steve Williams, in the middle for Jeremy Gibbs. There's the linebacking core with Juwan Armour returning to Calgary. We will talk more about that as this game goes on, and the secondary with Darren Toney in at halfback against Ryan Phillips, and those two guys are going to be up against the super slots for the Calgary Stampeders and Nick Lewis and Jermaine Copeland.
Lions last against the run, and Calgary's had some success on the ground so far. Demetrius Summers checks in. Reynolds to the sidelines. John Cornish also in the backfield, looking downfield, and they try and hook up once again with Robbie Bryant. That time, airtight coverage by Dante Marsh.
Well, you know one guy is fired up to play in this game, and that's Juwan Armour. And he's going to come in, and he said he's going to try and hit everything that moves. In this last play, one ago, it was Henry Burris on that run up the middle as he goes and makes the tackle. Nick Lewis called Juwan Armour when he came to Calgary. He was one of the reasons they brought him over.
2nd and 10. 5 receivers out. Reynolds with a block, but the pressure's on, and down goes Henry Burris, and it's Ricky Foley claiming the Canadian Football League sack league. That's number 9 after 3 last week in a dominant performance against the Argos.
Boy, was it ever. 7 tackles, 3 sacks against the Toronto Argonauts, and Ricky Foley is really rounding out his game. And I talked to Brent Johnson about Ricky Foley yesterday. He told me that he thinks that he's adding to his repertoire of moves coming off the line of scrimmage. He thinks he'll just continue to improve.
John Huffnagel has sent Sandro DeAngelis on to attempt his longest of the season. This is going to be from, well, they're going to fake, and Sandro's just going to place the punt. And Grace Mullen fields it at the 15. Grace Mullen is swarmed across the 20, so they don't try the long field goal, and the Lions will have the ball when we come back. No score after the first 2 possessions. On the sideline, Jermaine Franklin.
Thanks, Chris. Wally Buono said he didn't really have a lot of time to reflect on his amazing accomplishment of becoming the all-time wins leader of the CFL, simply because he had a very important game he had to prepare for right here in Calgary. And isn't it ironic that Buono returns to the place where it basically all began for him as a head coach, where he got the majority of his wins to become the all-time wins leader, 159 to be exact. And there are a lot of familiar faces in the front office still, and on the sidelines for that matter, that helped Buono get to where he is today.
A lot of those staff members congratulating Wally as he patrolled the sidelines a couple of hours ago in advance of this game, and not happy with that drop from Emmanuel Arsenault.
When Wally Buono was hired in 1990 by the Calgary Stampeders and moved into that head coaching position, really restored the winning ways for the Stamps. They had not been to a Grey Cup since '71 when he took over. And he led them to 7 first-place finishes.
Martel Mallet running on 2nd and 10. And Mallet across the 35-yard line.
It's one thing that looks like the BC Lions have established early on here is they're getting their running game moving. Pretty good success in the first 2 series with Martel Mallet out of the backfield. A lot of changes in that Calgary defense. They're trying to find the right combination over there, getting some players returning from tryouts in the National Football League.
1st and 10, a lot of pre-snap motion. Mallet again into the teeth of the defense to the 42. Last 2 weeks, they haven't been as sharp against the run, the Stamps, allowing 154 last week in Hamilton.
They're trying to find some chemistry, Chris, between these players on the defensive side of the ball. When you look at opening day, lots of changes since then. In fact, 9 different starters. We mentioned Charleston Hughes in that defensive line. They may get Mike Labinjo back next week. They get Devon Claybrooks over. Malik Jackson, I mentioned the linebacking core, and 2 new halfbacks in John Eubanks and D. Webb.
So from opening night, Browner, Dwight Anderson, the corners, and Shannon James, the only guys still in their starting positions. 2nd down, Buck Pierce. Up top, what a catch. How did G. Simon adjust to the football?
Tremendous body control as G. Simon's running a corner route, looking over his left shoulder, and then has to flop sides in a heartbeat to turn to get that football. And that's just body control running full speed as he flips over to the opposite shoulder and takes that right off the top of his head. What a tremendous catch by G. Simon.
30-yard pickup, only the 4th game this season that he's had at least 1 catch for 30-plus. You still get the feeling he's going to have a big finish to the year, don't you? The play-action fake and back into the hands of Arsenault, who hangs on this time and brings it down to the 30-yard line, and he'll be a yard or 2 short of a 1st down.
Oh, you're right, Chris. I mean, after 11 games last year, G. Simon already had 1,000 yards. In fact, he had 1,100 yards, so he's well behind that pace coming into this game tonight. In fact, about 500 yards behind it. But you mentioned it, and I agree with you. He's about 220 yards away from Jermaine Copeland, the leader in receiving yards. And you get that feeling he just may take a run.
To the hands of Mallet, who breaks tackles and crashes down inside the 20. Another 1st down, and Martel Mallet is off to a great start. Remember, 213 yards against Montreal a few weeks ago.
Well, and you know, with Martel Mallet, I think what's deceiving about Mallet in the backfield is that he's an upright runner, so defenders, they want to hit him along those legs, but as he goes to take contact, he lowers the shoulder and knocks those tacklers out of the way.
Yeah, that time Keon Raymond just bounced off him, trying to tackle high. 1st and 10. This time they fake, and Buck Pierce looks downfield to the goal line, incomplete. Looking for a flag, none forthcoming. The intended target was Emmanuel Arsenault.
Yeah, and D. Webb was the halfback in coverage, and that's the newcomer back there. The rookie played in the Arena League for Bon Jovi's team.
Apparently sings a little Bon Jovi, too.
He does, and he's going to be tested early on. He's up against a couple of good slapbacks in Paris Jackson, G. Simon. That time, Emmanuel Arsenault came in to the inside spot, but they're going to try and test him early.
1 season with Jacksonville in the NFL. He's on the hot seat tonight. 2nd and 10. 6 receivers out. Crosser, complete, fumble, O'Neal Wilson, and it's picked up by D. Webb. How about this for a debut? And Webb cut down by Buck Pierce. But Webb has the fumble recovery after O'Neal Wilson puts it on the carpet.
Was it a fumble or was it an incomplete pass is the question. O'Neal Wilson was the crossing route as he's going to come right from here and right across the middle. He's the underneath pattern for Buck Pierce. Good read by the quarterback, and the throw is right there, but does he have control when that ball comes out?
Stripped by Dwight Anderson.
Well, it looked like he did because he turned his shoulders to run upfield.
Went to tuck it in, and Anderson with the forced fumble. Henry Burris takes a hit, that's up the grabs, and falls incomplete. And Henry took quite a lick, and Baron Miles was sizing up interception number 61.
Henry
intended
Burris,
for Robbie Bryant.
Yeah, sorry, Chris. Henry Burris real slow to get up there. And it looked like it was the newcomer in the defensive line, Steve Williams. They call him Little T. because he's a slightly smaller but as strong version of Tyrone Williams. And there's the hit that he puts on Henry Burris, and that one hurt.
They never have to change the name on the back. They've had Tyrone Williams, Jonathan Williams, now Steve Williams. 2nd and 10. The screen to Reynolds, who can't bring it in. Tried the one-handed catch, and it's incomplete. I hope Steve Williams works out, because I don't like Brian Williams' chances of playing defensive tackle.
No, I don't either. Carolina, Kansas City, practice roster for Steve Williams. Wally Buono was telling me that he is so strong, they have a couple 150-pound dumbbells that they've been using as doorstops. Well, Steve Williams got in there, and then he just dusted them off, said, I'm going to work out with these. 150 an arm.
Those probably hadn't been touched since Tyrone Williams left us.
That's right.
Here's Burke Dales. Launching over the head of Ian Smart and into the end zone. Big boot from Burke Dales. And Smart will concede the first point of the game. That's a 68-yard blast. We're still scoreless. D. Webb called for no yards. Looked like he gave 4, but you have to give 5. And so the no yards penalty wipes out the 68-yard single. And the Lions, still scoreless, take over at their own 15. Bring some chances to put points on the board, but so far, no blood drawn. Over the middle, Giroy has his second catch up at the 24, but a yard short of the first down.
We talked about the changes in the Calgary defense, how they're trying to find the right combination. They are excited about getting Brandon Browner back on the corner. Missed a couple of starts. Keon Raymond played very well for him, but Brandon Browner is unique. He's a shutdown corner, will play up in your face, bump and run coverage. And Ryan Grice-Mullen, O'Neal Wilson will have their hands full with Brandon Browner back. Now he will be taken off the special teams, and that's why D. Webb, who just got that no yards call, is replacing Browner on the special teams.
2nd and short, and Travis Lulay comes in to replace Buck Pierce in these situations. About a yard to go. And Lulay tries the right side, should have it. Pushing behind Shirko Haji-Razuli, Jason Jimenez, and Angus Reid.
Well, really hasn't been a guaranteed first down for the BC Lions, certainly. Wally Buono on that short yardage has had his issues. But you're right. Travis Lulay, who is the backup tonight to Buck Pierce. Jarius Jackson is here helping the quarterbacks out, but not dressed.
Last time the Lions faced the Stampeder team, the quarterbacks generated only 103 yards through the air. Martel Mallett again. This time surrounded. He'll be driven back. Keon Raymond there. Along with Tate George in his second game at defensive end.
They do have Martel Mallett rushing quite well early on in this game. Buck Pierce looks like he feels okay. Lots of concern through the work week about his ribs. There's his numbers last week. They don't jump off the page at you. Good completion percentage, and maybe most importantly, did not turn the ball over. And that was a question mark coming in from concussion issues.
2nd and 8. Mallett released from the backfield, and he'll take it. And get cut down immediately. Nice play by John Eubanks in his 5th start, the defensive halfback for the Stampeders.
And 5th start, Devonzo Tate was taken out of the lineup and then put on the practice roster, and then since has been released. So John Eubanks won that job over the last 5 weeks. Good open field tackle here. And you wonder about whether or not the same thing will happen with D. Webb.
7, McCarty's alive. 7.
Sean White looked like he rushed his first punt. Had one block last week. This is better. Marcus Howell has to backpedal 5. From the 24. Flag down. Howell with a decent return up to the 39, but there is a penalty flag on the field.
Craig Dickinson, the special teams coach for the Calgary Stampeders, having to do some juggling with the new players in the lineup. We've seen a couple of mistakes now by the Stamps. D. Webb on that no yards call took a point off the board, and now too many men. The Calgary Stampeders are going to give the ball back to the BC Lions.
So the too many men penalty gives BC a first down, and the Lions' offensive possession continues at the 42-yard line. Got to keep the 13th man up in the stands.
And it drives coaches nuts when you make mistakes like that before the snap of the ball.
Pierce to throw. Underneath, and Emmanuel Arsenault the catch. Across the 50, cut down by Brandon Browner. And a gain of 8 to 9 for the fine rookie, 21 years of age.
6 touchdowns for Emmanuel Arsenault. 471 yards coming in. He has become a bit of a deep threat for Buck Pierce.
Second and short. Inches to go, and once again, Travis Luley will check in short yardage. Should be the final play of this opening quarter. This time Luley to the left side, and it's another first down. So, no blood drawn in the opening 15 minutes of football here at McMahon. First quarter stats brought to you by Tim Hortons. Always fresh, always.
The BC Lions really did have the edge in that first half, 127 net yards. But a couple of missed opportunities. That fumble down in the red zone, and they also had a bad kick by White that cost them some field position.
And a couple of mistakes for the Stampeders on special teams, so they've kind of canceled each other out so far.
Yeah, they have in that respect, and also another slow start for the offense for the Calgary Stampeders. It's got to be a concern now for John Huffnagel and George Cortez, because they got off to a real slow start in Hamilton in a game they lost last week. So I'm sure they'll try and shake things up, maybe try and push the ball deep a little bit. And they've got some changes to deal with as well.
So a sign it's going to be a different night than the one in late July where the game got away from the BC Lions, although they did lead 7-3 after a quarter against the Stamps on that 48-10 night. But Pierce going deep. Incomplete. Trying to hook up there with O'Neal Wilson.
Dwayne Anderson stride for stride with Wilson on that post pattern. They had G. Roy Simon and a crossing route. And just to the right of your screen, you're going to see that post pattern where O'Neal Wilson's going to go down the field about 10, 15 yards, then cut right down that hash mark, but you can't cover it much better. And Wes Lysak, the safety, also over to help out.
So 2nd and 10 at midfield. Pierce is a wide open receiver over the middle. And Paris Jackson has his first catch of the night at the Calgary 41.
You got to believe that they're going to try and test the new halfback in D. Webb. And here is Paris Jackson, a little one-on-one. He gets that left jab step and really freezes the halfback in Webb. Wide open over the middle, and Buck Pierce locks in.
None of the Lion receivers over 50 yards last week against Toronto. Looks like it's going to be a more productive night. 14 for Jackson, flag down, and they don't get this play off.
Now that deep ball to O'Neal Wilson, Chris, it wasn't complete for the Lions, but it does send a message to the Calgary Stampeders that Buck Pierce will go down the field with the football.
Procedure, BC number 61. 5-yard penalty, repeat, first down.
Darren Heerspink, the left tackle, flinched on the play.
We haven't talked much over the last few weeks about Darren Heerspink. That was a real area of concern for the Lions early in the season. Walter Stitz started there. He was released. That didn't work out. And if you're not talking about the offensive line, it's usually a good thing, kind of like the secondary.
There's been some continuity there now. They have not made a change on the offensive line in 10 straight weeks. Now the penalty marker is Simon. Takes that short pass and gets brought down short short of the first down. Let's find out what the penalty marker is all about. The tackle on the play by John Eubanks. And this time it's offside against the defense.
Offside, Calgary number 27. That's a 5-yard penalty. Repeat, first down.
Brandon Browder, that's the second straight week we've had a corner offside. He wants to get up in the face of the receiver, bump and run, get back into the action.
Very aggressive corner, and he's going to be up in their face. He's got the official right beside him, though, and I know the receivers will always check to make sure they're onside.
Off the right side. Down to the 35.
Right now, the BC Lions on that success on first down are going right after Tim Johnson, Malik Jackson, the run stoppers for the Calgary Stampeders. When they were first, especially in Johnson, inserted into the lineup, it made a real difference and an impact early in the first couple of games. They really cut down the damage in the run game. But a couple of games in a row now, as you mentioned off the top, Chris, it's starting to get leaky again.
In the secondary as John Eubanks made the play defensively.
Eubanks was upset with Tim Johnson, who was cutting underneath that, and I think he disrupted it, or he felt he had an interception. We'll see what the penalty flag is.
Legal contact on a receiver, Calgary number 38. It's a 10-yard penalty, first down.
That's the rookie D. Webb in his CFL debut. And the drive for the Lions is extended.
You can tell right now that D. Webb is trying to get his feet underneath him in his first start in the Canadian Football League. He's breathing pretty hard, too. It's only 20-second huddles.
13th play of the drive. 9th run of the game for Martel Mallet. Touchdown. 26 yards. The rookie hits pay dirt, and the Lions claim the lead.
Tremendous vision from Martel Mallet. He's going to cut through the line, and then when he sees the opening, he'll make another cut to his right, and that's where he can cut back through the line and then to his right, accelerate to the goal line. The first score for the BC Lions.
Jarius Jackson running a little interference.
Are you ready to get out or no?
There's Jarius Jackson on the sidelines congratulating the rookie running back.
Great job.
6th touchdown of the year, 4th on the ground. White the extra point, and the Leos have the lead.
He has one more, although he can't beat the student of John Huffman. He hasn't been able to this point.
Here comes the return of Demetrius Summers. Back in the lineup for the first time since the opening game.
And that just takes all that momentum the BC Lions had built up with a nice offensive scoring drive and a big run by Martel Mallet, and he just takes the wind right out of their sails. Demetrius Summers back in the lineup, as you mentioned, Chris, and he just hits that seam running through the arm tackles of the cover team of the BC Lions.
75-yard kick return, and Calgary's got instant scoring position at the Lion 28. Joffrey Reynolds lined up at a receiver position, now back in the eye. Down to the 22, has 6.
Let's go back to the touchdown by Martel Mallet, and to show you a couple of good blocks here. Jason Jimenez right there, and what he's going to do, he's got to go and get on Tim Johnson, the middle linebacker, and try and get into that second level. So he'll step up and do that. He gets a good block right at the point of attack right there, and when he does, that's the hole that Martel Mallet needs to get through.
Second and 4. Back to Reynolds. Big pass for Reynolds. Down to the 11-yard line, and Joffrey Reynolds gets things going on the ground.
It really sets up the key matchup of this game, and what we've talked about coming in is the 2 middle linebackers and the 2 running backs. And the Calgary Stampeders struggling a little bit offensively, get good field position on the return, and now they're trying to pound Joffrey Reynolds in there. And remember, he had 131 yards rushing the last time these 2 teams played.
3 100-yard games in the last 4 starts for Reynolds against the Lions.
Tight end right. Double tight.
10-yard run there. First down, double tight ends, and more Joffrey Reynolds with a flag on the play.
Jawan Armour directly to the hole to Phil on that one.
Steve Williams also in on the stop. Preliminary indication. Well, we got players on either team pointing in opposite directions, so we'll let Glenn Johnson make the announcement.
Offside, BC number 98. 5-yard penalty. Repeat. First down.
And that is Steve Williams.
A couple of newcomers on both teams with some early mistakes. Get used to the game. They got to give a full yard in the Canadian Football League.
Double tight.
So it's 1st and 5 from the 6. Where's quarterback draw? He'll score easily. Touchdown, Calgary.
A design call for the Calgary Stampeders. Take advantage of that big return by Demetrius Summers, and they're going to get a key block by Joffrey Reynolds, who's going to come out of the backfield here on this quarterback draw, pick up the linebacker. I believe it was Anton McKenzie's going to block right at the point of attack, but a huge hole opens up for Henry Burris. And there's the block I'm talking about, right down at the bottom of your screen. Joffrey Reynolds escorting his quarterback into pay dirt.
So a quick response from the Stamps. Keyed by that 75-yard kick return by Summers. And Burris takes it into the end zone.
We each paid $3.99 for 3 different value combos. He shoots, he scores.
We each had our choice of entree and sides. Don't call a plumber, 'cause he drains it.
And your Junior Hamburger Deluxe is made with fresh, never frozen beef.
5, 4,
I'm
3,
into
2.
curling.
Only Wendy's offers $3.99 value combos, each with your choice of side and a drink.
It's way delicious. It's Wendy's.
2 key blocks here. One is Ben Archibald right here on Brent Johnson, who's going to get the kick-out block for Henry Burris. That's going to open up the first running lane right at the line of scrimmage. There's a nice block right there at the top of your screen as he keeps Brent Johnson outside. Now, if you keep rolling it, you're going to see the Joffrey Reynolds block on Anton McKenzie. There it is right there. No chance for the linebacker to get to Henry Burris, who walks in.
6-yard touchdown run, 6th touchdown of the season for Burris. And they hand it off, Ian Smart. And Justin Phillips with a big tackle for Smart would still be running up to the 35-yard line.
Well, you cannot execute the quarterback draw better than the Calgary Stampeders did on this play. You've got to get the key block right at the point of attack. They got that from Ben Archibald. And then you get one player to the second level, so that scraping linebacker in Anton McKenzie is picked up, and Joffrey Reynolds takes care of that. Pretty easy one for Burris.
Well, we anticipate the last month and a half of the regular season is going to be memorable in the West, and after a great start tonight, but Pierce back to work. There's Arsenault on the crosser. Turns it up, still going down the sidelines. And what speed for Manuel Arsenault, caught by Eubanks, but he does some big-time damage down the sidelines.
Yeah, 2 things here, Chris. One is Arsenault's speed to outrun the angles of the Calgary defenders, but also the accuracy on the throw from Buck Pierce. Yes, this is just a little under route, but you see how he leads Arsenault out in front of him so he can turn that corner going full speed, and look at the tremendous speed he has to outrun the angle of D. Webb and the rest of the Calgary tacklers.
52 yards, that's his biggest play of a good rookie season.
He flew down that sideline.
1st and 10 at the 23. Low shotgun snap. Pressure on back. pops out.
And this is where the entire province of British Columbia kind of hold their breath whenever Buck Pierce starts to run. Because of his injuries in the past, he's got tender ribs and coming off the concussion problems, and Shannon James pretty aggressive with them right there and borderline drawing a flag.
Ran a long way for 3. 2nd and 7. And into the end zone, wide open. Touchdown, Paris Jackson. Little giddy up in the Stampede City, and just like that, the Lions regain the lead.
Well, it was all defense in the first quarter, and now the offenses are starting to get on track because Paris Jackson wide open in behind coverage. The safety, Milton Collins, had vacated the middle. You see no safety back in the middle. Buck Pierce recognizes that quickly. He goes right down that seam, and you see 14 trying to catch up.
20-yard touchdown pass. Jackson has his 6th touchdown of the year. 1st in 5 weeks. And it didn't take long for Buck Pierce to reclaim the lead. Closed captioning of the CFL on TSN, brought to you by Sport Check. Sport Check, the power of sport.
Both teams finding an answer here. After the Martel Mallet score, Calgary Stampeders got a big return, set up their touchdown, and Buck Pierce comes all the way back to win the series.
3 plays, 75 yards. See what Summers does this time with the football. Anton McKenzie tracks him down at the 29.
Well, the bunch formation for the BC Lions confuses the Calgary Stampeders defensively. They've got Paris Jackson, who's going to come out here, and then O'Neal Wilson underneath. And that causes problems for the Calgary Stampeders as they miss the switch here. And it's D. Webb, the newcomer in the back end, who then compounds the problem by staring back at the quarterback and not finding a receiver in Paris Jackson. He's watching the quarterback. When you do that in man-to-man coverage, you are beat and have the best ticket in the house to watch a touchdown dance.
Henry Burris to the air, and he's got an open man. Great catch, Nick Lewis. Not sure how open he was. That ball was thread through the needle.
Corey Banks, Chris, tried to gamble, cut underneath that. He had 2 interceptions, really should have had 3 interceptions last week versus the Toronto Argonauts because he dropped one right in his hands. But you see, he cut under thinking he was going to get another one. And his 3rd in 2 games, misses it by inches, and Lewis makes him pay.
26 yards for Nick Lewis, extending that catch streak. That's just the 2nd completion for Burris, who had only 14 passing yards in the first half last week. Joffrey Reynolds breaking tackles into the secondary and down to the BC 37. Quite a night for both running backs, Martel Mallet and Joffrey Reynolds.
Yeah, you gotta love the drive and the leg strength of both of these running backs. Joffrey Reynolds, the veteran in his 6th season. Watch how he's gonna carry Darren Toney for another 6-7 yards on his back. Both these running backs with tremendous lower body strength.
Stamps the number 2 rush team in the league. BC number 3. The Blue Bombers have led all season long in that department. 17-yard run, first down. And a pump from Henry, who will take off. Darren Toney there and drops him at the 26. But another first down.
Burrs finding an answer after the Paris Jackson touchdown, moving his team right back in scoring position.
Six minutes left in a first half that started quietly, but all of a sudden, looks like we might be in for a shootout. There is an injured BC Lion, and it looks like Juwan Armour, who has taken a knee.
Calgary Stampeders get Rob Lazio back in the lineup, and they've been attacking the middle of that defense. Lazio will play center, and they'll move Tim O'Neal to the guard position. They weren't really sure if O'Neal would be able to hang in there, but they sure love having the veteran presence. 12 years in the CFL of Rob Lazio. A couple of quarterback draws now, a couple of run plays up the middle. going right behind Lazio, Tim O'Neill, and Demetrius Sumpas.
Great job by Tim O'Neill in the 5 weeks that Lazio was out. So Armour to the sidelines. Javi Glatt in at middle linebacker. 1st and 10. Fake to Reynolds. And over the middle. A completion. There is Glatt in coverage. And Jermaine Copeland has his first catch of the night.
Well, it was a 7th start for Juwan Armour, and that's Javi Glatt has had to try and contribute in different ways. Crossing routes here, as you see, the second receiver outside to the left ends up being Copeland, curls up right in front of Javi Glatt. Javi Glatt's had to contribute on the teams. He watches Juwan Armour now. He'll be in there for at least 3 plays.
6 for Copeland. 2nd and 4. Fake to Reynolds on the zone read. And Henry Burris taken down at the 16-yard line, but another first down. Corey Banks brings Burris to the turf.
Boy, Joffrey Reynolds on that zone read play, Chris, really wanted to take the football and hit that hole, and they almost got in a bit of a wrestling match.
A little tug of war.
Yeah, a little tug of war. Reynolds in behind here, and he's going to just go in that zone read where the quarterback will put the ball in the stomach of the running back, but hold it and spy the end in Foley. If Foley comes down hard, he can pull it. What Henry Burris didn't realize was that Javi Glatt was coming around.
John Hufnagel told us last week there's a pass option on every one of those zone read plays. Here's Dr. Reynolds straight ahead, and he was cut down at the 10-yard line.
Boy, I mentioned, Chris, that Nick Lewis was one of the reasons Juwan Armour became a Calgary Stampeder. When Armour had his problems in training camp, threw a player down, Nick Lewis was bugging him, came in and said, you know, you've got to look at this hit. Look at this hit right here. He said, if you're going to hit somebody in practice, hit me, because I'll go back at you. And they were just having some good fun in the locker room afterwards. And Armour said yesterday to Nick Lewis, oh, don't worry, I'll be hitting you tonight. Well, Nick Lewis got the first one on Armour there.
Boy, he doesn't like middle linebackers. Moreno about 3 weeks ago, and what a hit there. Here's Burris, a pump. And Burris down to the 6. Henry Burris did not throw a touchdown pass last week. First time in 8 weeks that hadn't happened, and he is 1 away from becoming the all-time Stampeder leader, currently tied with Doug Flutie, 140 touchdown passes.
Well, he's bounced back. A lot of his game tonight has been running with the football. He already has a touchdown on that quarterback draw. But you're right, Chris, last week versus Hamilton, one of his worst outings as a starter. In fact, he had 13 yards passing in the first half, and I asked him yesterday about it. He said, I think when you consider college and every game I've started in pro football, it was my worst half. But he did have a lot of drops. Now, he wasn't pinning it on the receiving corps, didn't even bring it up. But when you go back and look at that game, he had some open receivers, and he put the ball right where it had to be, and the receivers did not come through.
Yeah, John Hufnagel saying there were multiple offenders in that game. Everybody shared in a very listless performance. Offensively, that ball did pop loose well after the whistle, so not an issue. And it's 1st and goal from the 5. Burris dumping it off. Teo Johnson didn't want to go down, but does come down at the 4. So a short gain as Ricky Foley finishes it off.
And Teo Johnson is going to be the tight end in this formation, and he lines up just to the right side. A little fake to Joffrey Reynolds. And then the tight end just pushes out towards the sideline. And you're right, a little second effort, but good hustle there by Ricky Foley to hustle over and get involved in the tackle.
Aaron Miles slowing the play up. It'll be 2nd and goal when we come back. 3-minute warning in Calgary. We're 3 minutes away from Rona at the half. The guys who have had their feet up, probably grazing on the buffet. I'm sure pretty impressed with this first half of football and a big game in the West between the Lions and the Stampeders. BC by 7. Juwan Armour is back in at middle linebacker, and it's 2nd and goal for the 4. Burris to the end zone. Incomplete. Jermaine Copeland has brought in a lot of those this year. That one just out of his reach.
11 to be exact for Jermaine Copeland. A bunch of them being game winners. And this one just outside of his reach. You can see Juwan Armour, the middle linebacker, is going to spy Henry Burris, stay right in that quarterback draw area. So he's out of the coverage and can't help anywhere. And Burris goes down the field to Jermaine Copeland, just outside of his reach, but he's had some game winners this year.
So DeAngelis now comes on to attempt his first of the night. Little chip shot from 11. Pounds it through. 14-10. All the points here in the second quarter.
This is the type of game we thought it might be. John Hufnagel has had Wally Buono's number. When you look at these two head coaches, they are the most experienced head coaches in the Canadian Football League. Of course, the master is Wally Buono in his 20th season. When you look at the inexperience with the rest of them, John Hufnagel was hired 9 days before Mark Trestman in Montreal, making him the second most experienced head coach in the Canadian Football League this year. But Wally Buono in 5 straight games has not been able to beat his student. John Hufnagel says that Wally Buono's been a mentor, and I don't want to date myself, but so far John Hufnagel has stolen the pebble from Wally Buono's hands. Remember that was Kung Fu,
yes.
The Kung Fu show, and you had to snatch the pebble? I did date myself, didn't I?
You did. DeAngelis punching it downfield. Ryan Grace Mullen from his 13. This time they fake that reverse. Grace Mullen has had some great returns the last couple of weeks. He's been dangerous up across the 35-yard line. He had 150 yards on the return game last week against Toronto.
Pretty good numbers for Buck Pierce after the first half. He's really had the time of possession advantage in that first quarter. He's moved the ball, he's got a touchdown pass. And maybe most importantly for BC and their fans is that for the most part, he's kept clean. He hasn't taken any real big hits.
10 yards short of his game total last week in the win against Toronto. From the 38, Pierce drops it off. Jackson cut down, and that's a good play by Shannon James.
Martel Mallett ranked 6th in the league all-purpose yards. And the BC Lions tried to establish him early on. Their last game, he had 77 yards rushing and 40 out of the backfield catching the ball. He's been effective again tonight against the Calgary Stampeders defense. A defense that has improved in their run defense, but Mallett has found some seams.
Second and 10, no gain for Jackson. Big rush, Malik Jackson, and the ball falls incomplete. Intended for Mallett out of the backfield, but Malik Jackson disrupted the play.
Malik Jackson, right in the middle of your screen, is going to come right down Main Street on Buck Pierce, who is really just trying to get rid of this and save the loss. He is untouched through the middle. Sherko Haji Razuli missed him completely.
Bad snap. Charbonnet in trouble. Double clutched and did get it away. And there'll be a no yards call there. But it could have been a lot more serious. White had a punt block last week. First one in 6 years for the Lions.
Yeah.
And
he's a little shaken by it. It looks like it. You know, that first punt, Chris, of the game, he shanked out of bounds. Wasn't very long at all. And he looked like he really rushed it.
No yards. BC number 25. It's a 5-yard penalty. It's declined. First down.
That first punt was just 16 yards when he rushed it there, and then he had all kinds of problems handling this snap. He almost looks like he's nervous. It was a low snap, one hopper.
Yeah,
but
Dan McCullough has struggled in that department of late, and with that pressure, boy, he did well to get it away and get a 35-yard kick.
Lots of talk about Sean White with Paul McCallum now healthy again.
So Burris has just under 2 minutes to cut into this 4-point lead. And goes to the air, and it falls incomplete, but a penalty marker on the play, and Ryan Phillips is hot. In tight coverage with Jermaine Copeland.
Phillips is going to say that he and Copeland were basically just hand fighting down the field. One pushes, the other pulls. Copeland got up immediately trying to persuade the officials.
Pass interference, BC number 21. First down at the point of the foul.
There's the two principals. Ryan Phillips right there and Copeland. And I think this is a good call on pass interference because Ryan Phillips had his hand on the shoulder pads of Copeland and pulled his shoulders and influenced the play.
First and 10 at the line, 49. Reynolds into the secondary again. Finally dropped at the 28-yard line, and Joffrey Reynolds now answering the great first half of Martel Mallett. 21 for number 21.
Key block up front by Rob Lazio, the center, who's right here. He's going to step out after he snaps his football and then come and pick up any momentum that look at that hole that he creates that the BC Lions were trying to get to fill that hole. He cut it off.
Mallett has 79 yards, Reynolds 64. And Joffrey again with a stutter step in the hole until it opened up. Down to the 18.
Well, you can't arm tackle these two running backs tonight. You've got to have great form, lower your shoulder pads, keep your head up, because if you drop your head like Brent Johnson does off the edge here, if you drop your head a little bit right there, he's going to slip by you.
9 for Reynolds.
Double tight.
Looking for his 25th 100-yard game. Henry Burris plunging straight ahead. And Corey Banks says no, but it looks like that should be enough.
Right in the middle of that one, Jawan Armour. You'd have to give the edge right now. We matched up the running backs with the middle linebackers coming into this game. You have to give the edge right now to both running backs, I think. And both are pressing 100 yards in the first half alone.
Wally Bono had 2 keys to the game: stop the run, stay on the field. For much of this first half, they stayed on the field, but they haven't been able to stop the run. And it's been basically a saw-off and a first down for Calgary with 66 seconds left in the half. Lions run defense worst in the league. A stat that really got out of whack with that one Winnipeg game of 393 rush yards. But they've allowed over 150 on the ground 4 times in the first 11 weeks. And 111 tonight, first half. And that ball is caught. Teo Johnson in front of the safety, Baron Miles, inside the 5.
Henry Burris is going to throw Teo Johnson open here because he's going to come out from the right of your screen, right down the middle, Johnson. And Henry Burris got to lead him into the middle like that and hope his receiver can come up with a big catch because Baron Miles was sitting on that outside shoulder. If he throws it right at the target, Miles probably has a chance at the ball, but he throws Johnson open, big first down.
The Lions stopped him down by the goal line last time in. First and goal, half minute to go. And this play doesn't get off. And it looks like timeout BC.
Timeout, BC.
Offense for John Huffnagel has started to come on in the second quarter. You combine what happened in Hamilton with a real slow start in the first quarter. I wonder if you start some concerns from that coaching staff about the offense, but start to establish Joffrey Reynolds, settle things down. They haven't been able to push the ball deep yet in this first half, really.
So the Lions defense had huddled up with Mike Benavides and Wally Buono at the Lions sidelines. John Cornish is going into the game for the Stamps on offense.
Last time they were down here, Chris, Juwan Armour spied Henry Burris, and what that means, he just stood in the line of scrimmage basically, and wherever Henry went, Juwan Armour went. They didn't want to see that quarterback sneak again, or quarterback draw.
2 backs. And here's Reynolds. There's Juwan Armour.
Yeah. I think he might have heard me say it was advantage running backs in the first half, and he just turned it up a notch because Juwan Armour fills this hole in a big way. Your middle linebacker right there. And this is a difficult one because there's 2 running backs going in different directions, but that's the type of form tackle that I'm talking about. Keep square to the line of scrimmage and then just drive your legs through the ball carrier.
Now Reynolds has taken a few of those defenders into the end zone. Not there. And now Burris trying to get to the end zone. Flag down. Touchdown Calgary.
The handle there trying to get the souvenir.
Offside, BC number 31.
Henry Burris has his second touchdown of the night, and the Stamps have the lead.
Just look at that interior of the offensive line. Rob Lazio, Demetrius Sumpas, and you know, Tim O'Neill, who's been asked to move from center to guard. He's the lead guy on that touchdown.
Extra point makes it a 3-point Stamps lead. 10 seconds remaining in a great first half here at McMahon.
Ask John Huffnagel about Tim O'Neill. He's right over here, and he says that when he went in at center, of course, they weren't sure what they were going to get because he's so young. Very few starts, and he said that the game wasn't too big for Tim O'Neill. He played very well in there. And that's to Henry Burris, just went right in behind big number 66.
This was his worst pass of the half. I'm not sure what happened there. Yeah, he might hear about that.
But I don't think he did that on purpose because he looked at him. What happened? I was trying to give a souvenir to the crowd. And what up? That's the difference right there. That's what I talked about, the triple threat out of the gate. That of the 3 veteran quarterbacks in the league, AC, Montreal, Ricky Ray in Edmonton, and Henry Burris, he's the true triple threat because he can add that run yards.
So it will be a Calgary lead at the half unless the Lions can get a big return here. Squib kick. And Ian Smart from his 21. Decent return and then brought down at the 46. Or else they might have been in field goal range.
That was a big tackle.
3 seconds remaining.
I think it might have been Charleston Hughes who got in there on the special teams.
Who was good on special teams last week with 3. But
or was it Kashama, number 34?
Well, that might have saved some points.
Well, it did. I believe it did, Chris. You're right, because it looked to me like Ian Smart had a seam there, and if not for the tackle by Kashama, he's crossing center field for sure.
See what Buck Pierce does in the final play of the half. Pressure, and that's Charleston Hughes with the sack of Buck Pierce. TSN is the exclusive broadcaster of the CFL and proud home of the Grey Cup. All 31 points scored in the second quarter. Jermaine Franklin with Wally Bono.
Wally, with the exception of one turnover, are you happy with the balanced attack of your offense?
Well, we're happy with the fact that we moved the football, but, you know, the last couple of series we haven't done very well. And, you know, obviously we got to stay on the field. And, you know, defensively we got to be able to stop the run.
You've talked about stopping the run. What will be the key to stopping Joffrey Reynolds getting it back into the groove?
It's simple. You know, just don't let the guy in front of you knock you off the ball. I mean, they're not doing anything that's different. They're running straight at us, and right now they're beating us.
Thank you very much, Coach.
Yeah.
Pretty simple game. Don't get knocked off the ball. That's where Juwan Armour steps up. Has to take his game up another notch and rally that front seven to see if they can try and control Joffrey Reynolds.
Stamps get their hands on the football first. In the second half, Demetrius Summers with that big 75-yarder. Looking for more, but Tad Crawford. And the ball comes loose. Loose football. Who gets it? And it looked like Wes Lysak beat Ryan Phillips to the ball to save it for the Stamps.
And the veteran safety knew exactly what he had to do on the sideline, and that's just be the last guy to touch it as it goes out of bounds, to deliberately touch it, because it's punched out right there by Jerome Dennis. And that is a live football. Lysak right there with the left hand just bats it out of bounds. That's possession Calgary. And they pick up some more yards because of the fumble.
I think there's a discussion about where that ball should be spotted. Don't know if you could advance the ball on a fumble, and that may be what this discussion's about.
But a lot of players, especially new players to the league, would try and recover that ball on the sideline. Wes Lysak's been around a long time. He knows that you just have to touch it going out. If you kick it out, it goes to the opposition.
Looked like they would have gained about 10 yards on the fumble, and they are going to spot it at the 49-yard line. So they get the extra yards.
Wes Lysak's getting a lot more playing time the last couple of games because of the addition of Charleston Hughes.
Joffrey Reynolds starting the second half in a big way, but he fumbles. And this time Ryan Phillips has it, and he'll hold on.
The run threat of Henry Burris is influencing the BC Lion defense, and that's opening up some seams for Joffrey Reynolds. When you have a running quarterback like Burris who can get around the edge, it freezes you if you're Ricky Foley on the outside, and that's the seam he gets, but you can see that Joffrey Reynolds was not down by contact when that ball came out.
Second fumble loss for Reynolds on the season, second fumble recovery, and look at Martel Mallett into Stampeder territory to the 52-yard line. Mallett and Reynolds have been at the top of the marquee so far tonight.
Let's take a look at what the quarterbacks did in that first half. A big second quarters for them. The passing numbers again down for Henry Burris. Second straight half where he has not put up 100 yards passing. Go back to the Hamilton game. Pretty good numbers for Buck Pierce. Both quarterbacks avoiding the interceptions.
Mallett with 11 on his 10th carry of the night. Last 3 games, he's averaged 18 carries. They fake the toss, and Pierce has an open man. O'Neal Wilson, and he protects the football and down to the 25. Taken down by Malik Jackson.
Full roll from Buck Pierce to get him outside and on the corner. Now he has the option to either run or pass from out there. As he fakes it to Martel Mallett, who's had success, that influences the defense. And then there's the crossing route to Wilson. Look at how he now protects the football. He had a fumble early in the game down in this area of the field.
26, Pierce to Wilson. Lions threat at the 25. Mallett again, big hole left side. And he takes the crease down to the 9. Over 100 yards for the second time this year for Martel Mallett.
Martel Mallett gets a big block from Dean Valley, number 54, to turn his man right outside. That's the seam that Mallett needed. Both offensive lines really opened up some holes here for their running backs.
18 more chewed up there. And now he's within 23 of 1,000 yards in his rookie campaign. First and goal from the 8. Giroy. And he's brought down on a short tackle by Keon Raymond.
Keon Raymond play inside there. Giroy Simon's going to start in the backfield, and then he's going to work his way out to the left side of the formation. And what the design of the play is to have Giroy Simon turn and make one player miss, he scores. But Keon Raymond said, it's not going to be this play.
Didn't miss, and it's second and goal. His second of the game, and in just over 6 quarters of football, 4 quarterback sacks.
Well, he has just come back with a vengeance, and he's out there on the outside, up the field. But he's going to get some help from the secondary on this one, because Buck Pierce had a second to throw. He locked into the left side, didn't have an open receiver, then he had to pull it down, and that gave Charleston Hughes that extra second he needed.
So White attempting a short field goal to equalize from 18 yards out. And we're tied at 17. 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific.
How good is that? Over 55,000 in Commonwealth. 2 good teams going at it.
Winner of that will have at least a share of first place, maybe all alone if the BC Lions are winners tonight. Dante Marsh tackles John Eubanks on that return.
Henry Burris has had to take some time to understand his new receivers. He went to Romby Bryant early in the game. He's established Joffrey Reynolds, but like last week against Hamilton, he really hasn't got that passing game going. Now, there's some changes he has to get used to.
Haven't seen much of R.J. Franklin. He is the wide receiver to the top of your screen. 5 receivers set. The rock back in the hands of Reynolds after the fumble. And this time not much there as Corey Banks and Juwan Armour converge.
You think that Wally Wano talked to the defense about their run-stopping ability or lack thereof in the first half, because Juwan Armour steps up here in a big way. Gets a little help from Corey Banks, but that was all the middle linebacker.
Stamps looking at 2nd and 5. Last week in Hamilton, under 30% in second down conversions. Quick hitter, incomplete, intended for Teo Johnson. But Darren Toney right there.
He came in ready to play in this one. You knew he would after being released in training camp by John Huffnagel. John Armour is flying around, making some hits. Now, Joffrey Reynolds has picked up some run yards. That was the best one down the goal line area where he stepped into Reynolds. Looks like he's even turned it up a notch in the second half, even higher.
Burke Dale's second in the league in punting. Boomed a big one in the first quarter. And this one flagged down by Grace Mullen at his 20. Randy Chevrier, the special teams tackle. 56-yard punt, 14 on the return.
Well, it's Friday night, and every Friday night we salute our Canadian Forces troops. Meet Sergeant Gus Ryan, Canadian Forces Search and Rescue Technician, 9-wing, CFB Gander, Newfoundland. In addition to providing 24-hour assistance 365 days a year, Air Force Search and Rescue crews have won countless awards for their heroism, including Canada's highest honor, the Cross of Valor. So meet Gus Ryan.
As we do each Friday night, a salute to the Canadian Armed Forces. Martel Mallet, another good first down carry, 7 yards to the 41.
Doesn't matter your political affiliation or beliefs, we can all support our Canadian troops.
Second and 3, BC. Stamps are blitzing. Buck gets it away, and Giroy can't bring it down. Simon with the drop as Pierce took a hit, and the ball delivered behind the intended target.
Well, Buck Pierce makes the correct read. The ball is a little bit behind, but he's under duress because the blitz, you're right, is coming. And you can see right in the middle there's Tim Johnson. He comes from the linebacking core. Malik Jackson on the outside comes. It's Hughes is going to put the hit on Buck Pierce, but he needs Giroy Simon to come up with that catch. He has the first down. It was the right read, and the ball was catchable.
Sean White, not a deep kick. There's a penalty marker on the play, and a pretty good scrap as well as Marcus Powell turns the corner. And a good tackle by Jerome Dennis, who was in that scrap on the field, will sort out the flag when we come back to McMahon. For every sack in tonight's game, Purolator donates the quarterback's weight in food to a local food bank. Purolator, where business is going. A couple of Charleston Hughes sacks tonight.
Yeah.
I guess Montreal had pulled into a tie and actually took the lead on the Lions till Ricky Foley got BC back into a share of the lead.
John Hufnagel made that trade. He got Robbie Bryant over with R.J. Franklin as well from Winnipeg. Winnipeg's part of that trade. They wanted Odell Willis. And Charleston Hughes coming back.
Should mention a holding call to D. Webb on the return. It's a 37-yard penalty. But they're going to get that back and more. Jermaine Copeland up to the 47-yard line.
When you can attack the middle of the defense like this, it really opens up your entire playbook. Watch what the play action does to the linebackers. You can see Anton McKenzie in the hole. Look how close to the line of scrimmage Juwan Armour is. So now both linebackers that close. There's no help for the secondary on that underneath and over the top throw.
Copeland, the leader receiving coming into the game. 30 on the catch, and Reynolds taken down at the 50 after 3.
You have to keep running the play, even if you're not getting big yards on that run play. You have to keep Joffrey Reynolds involved to keep those linebackers keyed in on him so that they will continue to get closer to the line of scrimmage. Copeland took advantage of that on that last catch.
Martel Mallett's over 100, and Joffrey Reynolds now at 98. Second and 7. Over the middle, and Copeland's got another catch. Boy, the timing of that read, you think, was he offside? But again, he hits the line with speed and has another first down grab.
Hits the line with speed, and again, taking advantage of the linebackers for the BC Lions up in the line of scrimmage. There's Juwan Armour coming on the blitz right over the middle. Now, Baron Miles was spying down low. He wasn't a deep defender like he normally is and still couldn't get there in time.
16 more. No touchdown for Copeland last week after 7 of the previous 4 games. Burris going back the other way. Looking for Robbie Bryant. Incomplete. Good battle downfield between the newcomer to the Stamps offense, Robbie Bryant, and the veteran Dante Marsh.
First of all, it's amazing that the arm strength of Henry Burris to get it over there, but here's that battle you talked about. And I love that the officials kept their flags in the pocket here because they were both a little pushing and hand fighting, and Robbie Bryant had a chance at it. I think Dante Marsh might have got that left hand over his eyes. Maybe distracted him just enough, but Robbie Bryant did fight back and have a chance at that football.
Has one catch tonight, just 20 in Winnipeg. Before the trade, they pulled him off the bus after the game in Montreal last week to say you're a Stampeder. Second and 10, they drop it off. There's Reynolds trying to get to the first down stick, and he does! As he rolled off the tackle of Ryan Phillips inside the 34.
Quick recognition here when you get the running back out of the backfield in Joffrey Reynolds, who's going to check for blitz. Everybody's picked up, so he can release now. Henry Burris picks him up, drops the ball over to him, and lets his running back pick up the first.
Stamps driving. They fake to Reynolds. Burris puts it in the dirt, delivering it low, intended for Copeland.
You mentioned Copeland didn't have a touchdown last week, but does have 11 on the season. 71 career touchdowns for Copeland as he gets down and close to that goal line area. 9 of them have been against the BC Lions.
39 from Henry Burris, who's still at 140. He's been stuck there for 7 quarters now, trying to break the record he shares with Doug Flutie. 2nd and 10. Downfield, Nick Lewis. And it's been picked off or fumbled. Baron Miles has it. How do you like that? They make it a challenge flag, though. Was Lewis down when the ball popped up?
Well, first of all, did he survive the ground contact with the ground, and in that way, was it a catch? Or was it a catch and then a fumble? Looks like he has control. Does the ground pop the ball out? Well, either way, it didn't touch the ground again, so it would be an interception by Baron Miles.
Unless the play's dead on contact, is he down there on the contact from D'Antoni? That's what the official has to sort out.
Well, he's got to survive contact with the ground here. If the ball looked like his elbow hit the ground, the ball popped up.
So it could be a catch and down by contact. It could be an incompletion, or it could be an interception.
That's right.
And you can read the lips of John Hufnagel. He said catch, down by contact. And that's what he's challenging.
Well, when the receiver leaves his feet like that, he has got to maintain possession of the ball when he makes contact with the ground. He was touched there by D'Antoni, but he's got to also maintain possession when he hits the ground. And I thought it looked like Nick Lewis's elbow hit the ground here, so he did maintain that possession, and it never touched the ground again. So it wouldn't be ruled incomplete. It'd be ruled an interception, either an interception or a catch. So he's got to survive that to rule it a catch and down by contact. He's got to maintain possession of the ball as he hits the ground.
Okay, we're down to 2 options.
I think this is going to be an interception. That ball stays live.
I think John Hufnagel's got a pretty good case here, and we'll find out what the command center says.
Contact made. He's got to survive that hit there, or else the ball would be, if the ball doesn't get picked up here by Miles, it's ruled incomplete if he doesn't survive contact with the ground.
You think he survived contact?
And I don't think he did, but the ball never touches, so the ball bounces up. It's still a live ball, and Baron Miles picked it up before it touched the ground again. So
it should be an interception.
It looks like an interception, yeah.
Okay. See what Glenn Johnson comes up with.
After review, the Calgary player caught the ball and was down by contact at the 5-yard line. It's first down to Calgary on the 5-yard line.
That's a little surprising to me, because when a receiver leaves his feet, he has to survive contact with the ground, and I don't know that Nick Lewis did that. You know what he did, though? He put his left foot down before he hit the ground. Run that back one more time, guys. And that's probably where this ruling changed, because he catches it here, the left foot touches there, and then he hits the ground. So they're saying the foot was the first contact with the ground. He did survive that.
A huge 28-yard play. Based on the way they've called it over the years, I am a little surprised. Not sure if this discussion is to make sure they've spotted the ball in the right spot. It's on the 5, 1st and goal. And the spot the guys in the truck confirm is the right one. So here we go. Stamps trying to break a 17-all tie here with under 5 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Fake to Reynolds. Burris is in trouble. Throws it into the end zone. Copeland up with it. Touchdown.
Back-to-back big plays by the super slots. First Nick Lewis and Copeland right on the sideline. Now was he in bounds when he catches this ball?
All he needed was a toe. Did he get it?
This will probably be a better look at it. Left foot, toe is in.
Now, did the right toe get down before the left one is out? Looks like a catch.
He has possession there, and that foot looks like it is inside the white stripe. What a catch by Copeland.
We've talked about that big window. It was the window's getting bigger, isn't it?
BC is challenging the ruling of a catch on the play.
Not surprising that BC would want another look on a play that would give Calgary a touchdown, but
well, the other thing that we couldn't really see from that first look was whether or not the ground aided in the catch of the ball from Copeland. Because when he dove for it out there, his back was to us. And Wally Buono from that sideline may have seen something that he hopes one of our television cameras will see. And because Copeland can't allow the ball, if it hits the ground and he uses the ground to help him, aid him in this catch, you can see his feet are in bounds. And he has possession of the ball there, but as he goes down, does the ball touch the ground?
Boy, that's a spectacular play. When it looked like, for a time, Burris was just going to throw it away.
We're in bounds. It's a touchdown.
They just review the feet, then it's a touchdown because his feet were in bounds. I think he does turn, Chris, and get his right arm underneath the ball so it does not touch the turf.
What a season he is having.
And what a catch that is. I mean, that's another highlight reel catch for Jermaine Copeland.
His leading 12th touchdown catch. DeAngelis, the extra point. And the Stampeders up by a touchdown at McMahon. Well, two big catches by the super slots. One that will be debated hotly, I'm sure.
Well, it already is being debated by Wally Buono on the sideline with the officials. I think he was going back to this Nick Lewis catch and felt that he did not survive contact with the ground, and it should have been a turnover, but you can't take away that catch from Jermaine Copeland. He kept both toes in bounds and maintained possession.
Dangerous on every return, pulled down by Justin Phillips up at the 38. 12 touchdowns on the season for Jermaine Copeland.
8 in the last 6 games, Chris, and you can see the first game tonight, Montreal-Hamilton. Avon Coburn went to 1,000 yards rushing, added to his touchdown total. Copeland. Is that damn simple? Right on his heels.
40th from Henry Burris, and that's number 141 to pass Doug Flutie. And now Buck Pierce has to answer. Pick! It's a pick! Mallett over the backfield. Up across the 45-yard line.
Yeah, lost in those catches by the slotbacks was the play of Henry Burris, who rolled out, bought himself some time, and put it right on the sideline to Copeland. That's his 141st touchdown pass. He now owns all the passing records for the Calgary Stampeders.
And there have been a few quarterbacks here in Calgary. That's an impressive list.
And the 40th to Jermaine Copeland.
Mallett second and short. He'll rip one across midfield. Back into Stamps territory for Martel Mallett. And who knows, he might take a run at his newly forged club record of 213 yards rushing.
Well, and he's got to be real close to 1,000 yards on the season now. A couple more big ones.
Needed 131 coming in, so he's 3 short. Lions have bigger fish to fry right now. There's Pierce, and he gets down underneath a big hit and at the 48-yard line, close to 6.
You mentioned Martel Mallet, that Lion record rushing yards in a game at 213, and Sean Millington previously held the record.
Under 3 minutes to go here in the third quarter, so Mallett's got a chance to do some more damage. Maybe not here, 2nd and 5. Pass low, intended for G-Roy Simon, and the drive stalls.
Well, these two players, G-Roy Simon and Buck Pierce, just a little bit off in the last 2 series. Remember that last one, Pierce threw it a bit behind Simon. It was a catchable ball, and he dropped it. That would have moved the sticks and kept the drive alive. That time it was on Buck Pierce, who had an open G-Roy Simon on the sideline and just underthrew him by about a half a yard.
So Sean White will try and pin the Stamps. Better kick. Howell's going to let it go, and it does bounce into the end zone. And he will give up the single point, make it a 6-point Calgary lead. Well, Wendy's Kick for $1 million is back. You have a chance to be one of 4 to go head-to-head to qualify for the live halftime show. Enter at tsn.ca/Wendy's and upsize your Wendy's combo and get a game card to get bonus entries.
This one might come down to a field goal, be the difference. The kicker won't get $1 million for it if it does. But this is a very important game for both these teams.
And you wonder if the call on the Nick Lewis play is going to be decisive tonight. Look in for Robbie Bryant. That was sniffed out by Dante Marsh.
Well, you know, that Nick Lewis catch, you know, it's in the books now, but it's a little surprising. I think in the past, the officials have called that. He's had to survive contact with the ground, and he didn't look like he did, although they ruled it a catch, and Copeland makes a great one in the end zone. BC Lions have to try and have short memories now.
No gain on first down, 2nd and 10. And play stopped. Some movement on that offensive line. As the Lions look like they were showing blitz.
Procedure, Calgary number 64. 5-yard penalty, repeat, 2nd down.
Big guy at right tackle, Jeff Pilon.
What the BC Lions have done tonight defensively is try and get their nickel or their tweener linebacker Corey Banks matched up on Nick Lewis. He's trying to get up and be physical with Nick Lewis and let him know
you want to be a fly on the wall to listen to that conversation. That'd be good stuff tonight, Banks. And Lewis. 2nd and 15, over the top for Copeland. And he can't pull that down, busted up by Darren Toney. He doesn't catch everyone.
Well, you start to expect he will, though. And he did get his hands on that one. Would have been a tough catch as he's working on Darren Toney. You can see he just gets that little push off. That's been the thing about Jermaine Copeland this year. It's not like he has been wide open with a lot of his catches. When he's made these tough catches, he's been in traffic like that. Well, you're right. You can't catch everyone. Lions should get decent field position here.
Kirk Dale sends it downfield to Ian Smart, with a room on that far sideline. And Smart steps out beyond the 45-yard line. Well, exclusive NHL preseason action continues tomorrow night on TSN2 as Roberto Luongo and the Canucks face off against Jerome McGinley and the Flames. Live coverage on TSN2 at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific.
Okay, give me your prediction early before the season begins. How are my Canucks looking?
I haven't crunched all the numbers yet.
Okay, so you're sitting on the fence.
They're looking good.
Busy offseason for the Vancouver Canucks this year.
Final play, third quarter from the 45. First down, and Pierce lots of time to launch it. And G-Roy Simon couldn't come up with it. Keon Raymond there, step for step. And that's the end of the third quarter here. 6-point Stampeder lead. Third quarter stats brought to you by Tim Hortons. Always fresh, always.
Oh, and you see the numbers this close between the two teams and the score this close. Games like this usually come down to 1 or 2 plays, and you wonder if that Nick Lewis controversial catch will be one of the game-changing plays.
I think we have established through 45 minutes that the BC Lions are a different team than the one that started 1-4, and we've got a 3-way tie for the lead, and the Lions have served notice that they're going to make it a 4-team race in the West.
Yeah, you know, they're right there now. They've added a couple of parts. Buck Pierce has looked pretty good in this football game. Both teams having success running the ball. The running backs have won the matchup between running backs and linebackers.
Last time these two teams met, BC had the ball for 14 minutes more. Not tonight, almost dead even in that department. Rush on Pierce, flag goes down, and Buck running for the sideline, and he is drilled by Milton Collins. And again, Lions supporters holding their breath, but Pierce has taken a few hits tonight, and he has shown some durability.
He has, and Jarius Jackson not dressed tonight. Travis Lulay, the backup to Buck Pierce, and he took a huge hit on the sideline from Milton Collins.
Giving the options to the Stampeders because Pierce came up short of the first down.
BC number 60. The penalties decline. 3rd down.
Come in as the call declined, and let's listen in on Milton Collins unloading.
Buck Pierce, you just can't do it, but those are the ones that his coaching staff and his teammates want him to just get out of bounds.
Sean White to Marcus Howell, surrounded at the 15 and brought down. Back out on the field will come Joffrey Reynolds, and the man who's trying to stop him, Juwan Armour, who was fired up prior to tonight's game.
Y'all know what it is. Y'all know what it is. See if they can keep up with us. Let's do that. Hold on. Ted, you seen me, Ted. You want to turn your back on me? Start fast. Let's go. Start fast. Yeah, start fast.
Trying to rally the troops. Talking trash to the owner.
Yeah, Ted Heller didn't want to say hi, and Juwan Armour wanted to make sure he noticed him. Henry Burris in some trouble, and that pass out of the reach of Nick Lewis.
And that one, just a missed opportunity for Henry Burris, because Juwan Armour in the middle there made a mistake. He went after the wrong player. He thought he was going to cover Joffrey Reynolds out of the backfield, took off to get him, and left the middle of the defense exposed. Just a drop and a missed opportunity by the Stampeders there.
Brent Ralph was uncovered deep. He hasn't caught a pass in the last 7 quarters either. Number 11. So a missed opportunity, 2nd and 10. And that pass is caught by Bryant, or no, incomplete. Robbie Bryant. And now we'll talk about it. They're going to discuss whether or not they'll mark it at the 30.
Early running success from Henry Burris has caused the linebackers in Armour and Anton McKenzie to stay up in the line of scrimmage and spy him. Watch where the quarterback is going to go and whether or not he comes out. We'll see if that is ruled a catch.
Well, he did have it long enough, apparently. So Bryant, who has been fighting it a bit, Dante Marsh knocks it out, but they rule he had control when he hit the turf. And the challenge flagged down again. And
well, if Nick Lewis, who was hit in the air and touched the ground, the ball came out immediately on that catch, and that was ruled a catch and down by contact, then this one has to be ruled a catch and down by contact, doesn't it? Contact is made.
He's challenging the ruling of a catch on the play. We'll review it.
And the ball was slapped out after he was down on the ground.
Had one of those in the end zone in Winnipeg a couple of years ago when all this debate really heated up. But this might add insult to injury for Wally Buono in the challenge department.
The ball has not touched the ground yet. The way it has been called in the past, Chris, over the last year, 2 years, is that when the player leaves his feet and hits the ground, he's got to survive that hit. And I didn't think the Nick Lewis dive early on was surviving the contact with the turf. And if that was ruled a catch, then you have to think that Robbie Bryant over the middle here would be ruled a catch because he was down with the ball in his stomach and then it was knocked out after the fact.
Yeah, I think this one has a better chance of, obviously the other one stood. This one, yeah, I think is less contentious.
Now that doesn't necessarily mean that's the way he'll be ruled all the time, but see, he's got it there and on the ground. I guess the question here is, did he have control of it or was the ball moving around in his body when it was hit out by Dante Marsh?
Now you could argue if Marsh didn't knock him down that
he would have had it right on his stomach.
That's a live football and a fumble. So even though you've got the command center, you got all the looks, there is still interpretation and nothing's clear cut.
Games like this, as I mentioned at the break, you know, you hear coaches talk about it all the time, the 3 or 4 big plays in the game. I mean, this is a field position changer here.
After review, ruling on the field stands.
Maybe a couple of plays I'm sure that Wally Buono will send in. You know, that Robbie Bryant catch to me looked more like a catch than the Nick Lewis.
If you allowed the Lewis catch, that one was going to stand.
Yeah.
So that'll be a loss of a timeout for the BC Lions here. 2 unsuccessful challenges. And Reynolds stopped Anton McKenzie there.
Anton McKenzie just worked around that lead block and got in behind it to get to Joffrey Reynolds to get Henry Burris in second and long situation. The Calgary Stampeders this year have been the #1 team in the league on first down production, averaging 8 yards on first down coming into this game.
Not McKay Lozier checks in on defense. Passing situation for Calgary, you would think, on 2nd and 8. 5 receivers out. Put to the inside, Robbie Bryant. And Dante Marsh there, but Bryant holds on long enough. He's going to be just short of the first down. It seems like Robbie Bryant's still fighting the football a little bit. He really had a tough day in Montreal with 2 catches for 18 yards in his Bomber finale. Had one ripped out of his hands for an interception.
Yeah, well, with what happened with him in Winnipeg, you have to believe that his confidence is a little shaky right now, and it may take some time. And he's trying to learn this offense here in Calgary. In fact, I was told by John Hufnagel that Jermaine Copeland and a couple of the slotbacks, he and Nick Lewis, would help Robbie Bryant in the huddle. As they break the huddle, he would go over and tell Robbie Bryant what play he had. That makes it tough. When you have to think on the football field, you're often a step behind.
Kenyon Rambo has been mentoring him this week, and a little less than a half yard away from a first down. There's Kenyon Rambo, and those are, as Robbie Bryant said, large shoes to fill. Third down, the offense stays out.
Well, if Juwan Armour wants to make a statement, he could do it right now. This is his opportunity.
Third and less than a yard, and quick surge. Flags down.
And this is George Cortez at his best, the offensive coordinator of the Calgary Stampeders, in a short yardage situation. Take the middle linebacker, who's going to be in man-to-man likely, and take him out of there by moving your running back out.
Offside, BC number 95. 5-yard penalty, first down.
You see Joffrey Reynolds here and right here. So Juwan Armour, who in a short yardage would want to be right there and be ready to dive over the top, he can't because he's got to step out to cover Joffrey Reynolds. So that takes a middle linebacker, your best run stopper, away from the line of scrimmage.
So at the 44, it's a first down for the Stampeders. Burris slipped one way and goes deep. And incomplete. Intended for Nick Lewis. Just out of his reach on the home run throw by Burris.
Well, they've been working on that matchup. Occasionally, they'll get Darren Toney one-on-one. Whenever Tony's been over there on Nick Lewis, that's where Henry Burris has wanted to go. When they've matched him up with Corey Banks, the nickelback, they've gone away from Nick Lewis.
Second and 10. Summers with his second big play of the night. 75-yard kick return, and now a first down catch into BC territory.
He goes out and works one-on-one on Anton McKenzie and is well covered by McKenzie, the linebacker. He's just to the left of your screen, and Henry Burr is going to throw it to the sideline. Look at the vertical jump from Demetrius Summers. Summers up over the top of Anton McKenzie and really just wins the jump ball.
21 yards for Summers. That's on corner Shikari, and nothing doing. Aaron Hunt tosses him back.
A couple of plays, though, Chris, you think back to the Robbie Bryant catch over the middle and the one that Wally Buono challenged. That would have had the Calgary Stampeders punting the ball from inside of their 30-yard line. And all of a sudden, they've now moved across center field. So the field position is now swapped to favor the Calgary Stampeders, even if they have to punt from here.
And very close to a position where they can make it a two-score game. May need another 5 yards to do that. Second and 10. And Burris throws that incomplete, but took a late hit. Is it a late hit on the quarterback or a hold? Glenn Johnson.
With Henry Burris down, you automatically think that it was a late hit, but I saw Brent Johnson clapping.
Okay.
Major foul, roughing the passer, BC number 11. 15-yard Armour, first down. Yeah, 11. He came behind you, he looped around behind you and hit him after you for a huffle.
But Johnson didn't see And you heard Glenn Johnson explaining it to Brent Johnson. Ninth play of the drive, and the Lions just have everything going against them right now. A punt from Burris on a roll. And incomplete. Closest man to it, Brett Ralph, but Burris was rushed on the play.
Well, a good decision there defensively for the BC Lions. Shane Simmons, who's in the game in this situation, decided not to hit Henry Burris after he threw that football. Mike Benavides has to find a way to get his defense off the field here. This is like the 4th second and long situation.
I mentioned last week they were under 30% in second down conversions, and they just keep moving the football on second down tonight. Quarterback draw. And Hunt won't let him by, and he drops at the 30, at the 25-yard line. So a good drive for the Stamps comes to an end, but in field goal range for Sandro DeAngelis to make it a 9-point game.
Well, good drive to eat up a lot of time on the clock, and then have your field goal kicker who's hitting on just shy of 90% this year to come in and make it that 2-score game.
33 yards out. DeAngelis has missed one in each of the last 2 weeks, but not usually one of these. Right off the bar, double ball, no point, dead ball. And it's 3 straight weeks for DeAngelis misses. And it remains a 6-point game, and the Lions finally cut a break. Well, it was the big news of the week. KC Printers back in the Canadian Football League. Wally Buono putting the call out with the injury to Jarius Jackson, the former CFL MVP, back in the Lions camp with more. Jermaine Franklin.
Well, guys, it's not very often that the Vancouver Canucks take a back seat in their own hometown, but apparently this week is exactly what happened when word got out Wally Buono acquired KC Printers, the free agent, to come back to BC. And the former league MOP had the city buzzing. Also, right away, the Lions took advantage of Printers' mobility as he pretended to be Henry Burris throughout the week of practice. And Buono kind of had his hand forced when the injury happened to Jarius Jackson. Plus, when you take into account Buck Pierce's injury issues, he had to go out and get insurance, and he did in the form of KC Printers.
Buono calling it a win-win situation, a chance for KC Printers to reestablish himself and to cover the Lions' bases with Jackson out and Pierce looking vulnerable.
A smart signing by Wally Buono, the general manager side of his job, to bring KC Printers back in. He's not sure about Jarius Jackson. They're thinking possibly 3 to 5 weeks. Of course, we know about Buck Pierce's history with concussions and some injuries. Travis Lulay is now the backup. And not really sure what to expect from a rookie at quarterback.
Big second down here, 2nd and 6, and the Flyers intercepted. Keon Raymond, who's into the game, replacing the first game man, D. Webb, and Keon Raymond comes up with a big interception. Stamps get it right back. CFL, Rona doing it right since 1939. Keon Raymond now back in the starting secondary, replaced Brandon Browder for the last 3 weeks, and now tonight replacing D. Webb as a pick, and they're going up top. And Summers, the intended target, and no penalty flag on the play.
Darren Toney, I think the Calgary fans want the screening call on Darren Toney down as he was chasing Demetrius Summer, puts his hands up right there, makes a little bit of contact in the process, did not look back to the football. I think Demetrius Summers has an argument.
2nd and 10. Tibbs for Bryant. And it'll be third down.
You know, we got to go back to what is one of the key plays of this game, and that's this interception by Keon Raymond. An out route right here on the sideline, and the ball late from Buck Pierce, who throws his 10th interception of the season. He avoided the interception last week versus Toronto, but that one was a little off. Now, the last time the Calgary Stampeders tried a field goal, I've never seen that before.
Yeah, that's a first, isn't it? Double upright. Now he'll try and put it between those bars from 39 out. Again, trying to make it a two-score game. And this time, it's through. 9-point Calgary lead. 7:22 to go, fourth quarter. Tonight's game story brought to you by Molson Canadian. This is our beer.
141st career touchdown pass for Henry Burris. He now owns the Calgary Stampeder passing records. Both running backs having a good night. Martel Mallet, Joffrey Reynolds, and another touchdown catch for Jermaine Copeland. So Buck Pierce has got to try and find an answer, and the clock now becomes his enemy as well.
Bryce Mullen. Bryce Mullen, but there is a penalty marker. Up across midfield. Had those two big returns last week in the fourth quarter against the Argonauts, but this one coming back.
Illegal block, BC number 39. It's a 10-yard penalty and a run back. First down.
That's the newcomer, the reserve linebacker, Shane Simmons. With a look of disbelief.
Well, it puts the BC Lions in a big, big hole. The two most devastating penalties are the ones on those returns when your returner has picked up good yardage, and then pass interference.
Yeah, this one cost them 44 yards of real estate. Crashes ahead. Brought down by Devon Claybrooks.
Now, Buck Pierce was off on that throw on the outside where he threw the interception to Keon Raymond. He's taken a couple of big hits again in this game.
You know, the big hit by Milton Collins on the series prior to that, he got up. He didn't take the direct route back to the huddle. If you wondered, is he a little wobbly? Or just licking his wounds. 2nd and 5. Flag down, O'Neal Wilson the catch. There would be a first down and a straight arm into the face of Dwight Anderson. But is this one coming back too?
It sure is.
Wally Buono's team just third.
Holding, BC number 61. 10-yard penalty, repeat, second down.
Darren Hirschbeck, they are third in penalty yards assessed this year. Stampeders second last, but tonight feels like it's been going BC's against BC most of the night.
Left tackle, Darren Hirschbeck. Charleston Hughes tries an inside move, and he's allowed to punch that shoulder, but he hung on just a split second too long there.
2nd and 15. Has Ryan Grace Mullen with a big first down up at the 30-yard line.
On the right read and throw from Buck Pierce was good news for BC Lions fans, because those hits he took earlier in this quarter have not affected him. I thought he might be a little wobbly when he was a little off on the timing and threw that interception, but this is the right read. The ball's out there on time, and he allows Ryan Grace Mullen to pick up first down yardage.
Valuable 21 yards and a fresh set of downs. Nudging just across their own 30-yard line. Pierce steps up and gets down underneath the hit at the 37.
Yeah, and that's what Wally Buono wants to see more of, but he took some big ones, especially the hit from Milton Collins earlier tonight. That looked helmet to helmet from Charleston Hughes. And then this one from Milton Collins, the safety. And then a series later throws an interception. He looks okay now.
2nd and 4, and they convert again. First down tosses from Buck Pierce. This one to O'Neal Wilson. And they're getting back to the neighborhood where the original kick return had been taken.
Well, you try and look for the signs when you're looking at Buck Pierce, and the signs being, is he getting rid of the football on time? And in the last 2-3 throws he has. That's perfect timing on that crossing route to O'Neal Wilson.
1st and 10. O'Neal Wilson into the trolley tracks where Malik Jackson was waiting.
Well, Malik Jackson has just really stolen the linebacking job. Started out the year at defensive end, and when John Huffnagel moved him to linebacker, really helped to fix some of their run issues. And Dwayne Carpenter did not even dress for this game because Malik Jackson has played that well.
Injured Stampeder on the play. I believe Devon Claybrooks has taken a knee. But, you know, last week Buck Pierce had his first start since August the 14th. It was an average night, but he looks a lot sharper tonight for the most part, doesn't he? Looks like he's progressed from a week ago.
Yeah, I think he looks okay. I mean, other than one throw, I thought his timing has been pretty good, and the decision-making process has been up there as well. I mean, there's not really, as far as dress quarterbacks, a real option unless Buck Pierce is hurt. If you go to Travis Luley, who has a little bit of playing time, played earlier in the season against the Toronto Argonauts until he was knocked out with a big hit, you just don't know because he's young. I mean, a lot of people like his upside, including his head coach in Wally Buono. A tremendous athlete, he can run, he's got a strong arm, but when you put a guy with R on the roster, meaning rookie, at that position in the game, you're rolling the dice, and Jarius Jackson's not an option. Which is why Casey Printers got the call.
And a guy that's familiar with the offense, the transition's been quick. So 6 on that last play, 2nd and 4. Claybrooks to the sidelines, a 3-man front for Calgary. Tay George gets his paw in the air and has a knockdown.
You think about the addition of Charleston Hughes and Tay George. What a difference it's made in 2 weeks. Hughes with 4 sacks in 2 games. And you see Tay George had a fumble recovery in game 1. He had 3 tackles in game 1, a forced fumble, and now he gets a key knockdown in game 2 of his return.
3rd and 4. And here we go. Leads the offense on the field. Pierce to the sidelines, and a ball delivered low to Martel Mallet. Not a great throw with an open man. What could have been, should have been a first down.
It should have. And it was an open man, and Buck Pierce rushed the throw. He had more time than he thought. He got happy feet in the pocket, and he rushed the throw. You could see him a couple little hop steps. He rushes it, and he one-hops it to Mallet. Paris Jackson also open deep down the field. Can't believe. Now, in fairness to Buck Pierce there, he's trying to move the chains, and he wants to hit that 4 or 5 yard route on the sideline to Mallet. It should have been a safer throw, but he just got those happy feet. Rushed the throw a little bit and one-hopped it.
8th turnover in 2 games against Calgary for the Lions. Dr. Reynolds down to the 45 as the clock ticks down, under 3 minutes left. And Calgary looking to expand on a 9-point lead. And will ease your mind about what kind of season you're in for.
I like our chances, for sure.
2nd down, Reynolds, Jawan Arthur there. No first down.
You know, I mentioned earlier the success that Calgary has had on first down coming into this game at 8 yards per time. And the Lions, for the most part tonight, have done a good job of putting them in second and long. And this is another example where Juwan Armour steps up in that hole, and now...
Well, it does require measurement, and out come the chains.
But Henry Burris has been able to convert throughout this game, and now the BC Lions defensively have to start thinking about trying to strip the ball from Joffrey Reynolds.
Third down, we saw about the same distance a little earlier in the quarter, and an easy first down plunge for Burris.
When you play to start to strip the football from the ball carrier, then that's usually when you can miss some tackles. So Henry Burris likely to just keep this and dive forward. The last time they were in this situation, they moved Joffrey Reynolds out of the backfield, and Juwan Armour went with them.
Surprisingly, the Stamps 6th in the league in second down conversions this year. But this win, if it holds, will be on the strength of that tonight. Burris gets stood up, and then on the second surge should have it. But this wasn't as convincing as the last one, as Juwan Armour has a playful shot at the Calgary quarterback, and Armour says they didn't get it. Let's see.
Well, you're right. That initial surge was won by the BC Lions, and Armour over the top there. Just depends on where they ended up marking it. They look like they sort of split the difference from where Burris was at the beginning of the play and where he ended up.
And it is a first down.
They are going to move the chains and not take a look at it.
So down to the BC 42, and the clock continues to run. Be less than 2 minutes to go when this play is over. And Joffrey Reynolds is going to take some time off the clock. All the way to the 17 before Corey Banks brings him down. 24 more for Joffrey Reynolds.
Now, we've shown you some pretty big hits from Juwan Armour and some plays that he has made. We knew he would be fired up, but in that battle between running backs and linebackers, the running backs have won. And that's key situation. Joffrey Reynolds, composed, hits that hole hard and picks up big yardage.
Got double tight here.
Now the Lions really do need to force a turnover. Reynolds back to the line of scrimmage. Brent Johnson there. Ricky Foley.
With Wally Buono, he can't stop the clock. Lost his timeout on missed challenges.
And again, won't that come back to be one of the talking points of this game? Biggest play of the night. The Nick Lewis catch inside the 5-yard line that, from a Lions perspective, might have been an interception.
Okay, double tight end.
2nd and 11. Reynolds to this side. And Joffrey Reynolds down to the 5-yard line. First down, Stampeders.
Yeah, big first down again because they can just try and kill this clock. But you're right. You know, you take a look at the 3 plays to me that were difference makers in this game. One was that Nick Lewis catch, no question about that. The other was that Romby Bryant first down catch in the very next series. And then the Keon Raymond interception. Those are the 3 big plays to me. Now, Joffrey Reynolds is just cleanup time here.
Best game of the year for Reynolds, 146, 4th time in 5 starts against the Lions. He has rushed for over 100. And the clock now into the final minute. 2nd of 3 meetings. This will give Calgary the season series, move them 4 points up, 2 ahead of Edmonton and Saskatchewan, who will vie for an opportunity to move back into a 2-way tie for the Western lead when they clash in Commonwealth tomorrow.
You know, the one thing that's going to happen now, too, with the way that I thought Buck Pierce played fairly well most of the night, but with the way he finished, does that turn up the heat and try and accelerate the process from the fans with Casey Printers in town? Not that Wally Buono is influenced by the fans when he makes his decisions, but He now has to manage that situation.
Well, he wanted to stay on the field and stop the run. They
didn't do that.
They didn't do it tonight to particularly stop the run.
Well, they were coming in averaging 141 yards against. And you mentioned that Winnipeg game being the one that really threw it out of whack, but over 140 just by Joffrey Reynolds alone tonight.
And it's the 5th time they've given up over 150 on the ground in 12 games. As Henry Burris tries to kill all the time on the clock and will. Knee down, zeros on the clock. And John Hufnagel's team has moved into first place in the CFL West. Wally Buono's club misses an opportunity to get to 500. Time for the Friday Night Gladiator, brought to you by Movado.
Well, this was a pretty easy choice with the way that Charleston Hughes plays. It's just his 2nd game he played on the team's covered kicks. A key tackle there on Ian Smart, who would have had big yardage if not. He put some hits on the quarterback. Got a sack, 2 sacks on the night. That's 4 sacks in the 2 games that he's played. Charleston Hughes is our gladiator tonight. Congratulations.
The Movado 800 Series, all about the art of performance where serious sports function meets power design. Tonight's gladiator, Charleston Hughes, receiving a Movado Series 800 watch. While we expect all these interdivision battles in the West to be like that, we had a classic in Saskatchewan last week and a very good football game tonight as the Stampeders prevailed and now have won 6 straight against the BC Lions. 27-18 the final. So long from McMahon.
Chris, Glenn, thank you very much. Time now for the TSN turning point. And this one happened in the 4th quarter. It was 24-18 Calgary. BC trying to make something happen, and Buck Pierce is picked off by Keon Raymond, who danced along the sidelines. Eventually, he was pushed out, but this did lead to a Calgary field goal that made it 27-18. That's your ball game, folks. And the TSN Turning Point brought to you by Wendy's, the official hamburger of the CFL. And this was a good football game here tonight. But once again, the BC Lions failed to do what they need to do. Not only beat Calgary, but win in Calgary. They have not. Calgary's had their number, starting going all the way back to last season. Let's go down the line here, starting with you, Schulte. What you think of tonight?
Well, I thought for the Calgary Stampeders, they broke that rhythm of the negative loss against the Hamilton Ticats, and that was extremely important. I thought one of the differences in the game in the first half, I'd see Martel Mallett, great interior run. I would see Joffrey Reynolds, great interior run. And then in the second half, I saw Joffrey Reynolds, great interior run, and I didn't see Martel Mallett. I thought they got away from the physical side of the football game, not necessarily abandoning that run, but just doing a little bit less of that run, and I thought it was game determining.
Yeah, you know, both these teams started out very tentative. You know, no points in the first quarter. And then the second quarter, it seems like offenses started getting their feet on the ground, literally. Both Mallett and Reynolds going off, and Henry Burris not having success in the air really rode Joffrey Reynolds. And then they got back to that late and early in the 4th quarter. And I think that was a difference for Calgary. They got back to the ground game and sustained the line of scrimmage. But to me, the biggest play, Jock, was probably when Nick Lewis supposedly caught in football and Barron Miles went to pick it.
Yeah.
And you know, the controversial play right there. To me, I thought that was a turning point in the football game.
Well, yeah.
2 plays later, Calgary's in the end zone.
Right in the end zone with a very great catch by Copeland. So you thought it was a mistake?
I didn't agree with the call.
Based on the way the league has explained to us how that catch is supposed to work and maintaining control as you impact.
All right. Okay, Jock, I got Buck here at 17-27 for 230, 1 touchdown and a pick. You know, let's answer the question that Glenn Suter posed. Casey Printers is in the mix now. What's this going to do?
Yeah, in the mix. I don't see him in the mix as far as the question that Glenn is asking. I think that Buck Pierce played well enough to win the football game. I actually enjoyed watching him play this football game. I thought he actually put himself in a little bit too much danger. I don't like seeing him taking those kinds of hits. And if he keeps taking those hits, we may see Casey Printers sooner rather than later. But no, Casey Printers, just leave him out where he is and let Buck do his thing.
For now, the Calgary Stampeders are alone on top of the West Division standings, but Edmonton and Saskatchewan will play tomorrow as part of our doubleheader, so that will be short-lived. Somebody's going to join them, barring a tie. There's that catch by Copeland. Good football game in Calgary tonight to cap off our Wendy's Friday Night Football doubleheader. Thanks for watching. Talk to you tomorrow.